Welcome back, everybody, to Unconditional Surrender, game designed by Salvatore Vasta, published by GMT Games. This is the Thousand Year Reich series. I'm Dren608, and we are getting ready to go in December of 1942, and we will just go ahead and get started. Maybe. There we go. No declarations of war. We'll go to the... Britain's up to 14, Russia's up to 18, and the Germans are at 32 now because they have 2 economic reform factories. Excuse me, they will get 3 more through the year of 1943. The original rule book had the German reforms coming every 6 turns. That has since been amended to where in the first one that they get one in June of 42. They get another one in December of 42, 6 turns later. And then when they're removing only one from the turn track, they get it every 4 turns. So they will get one in April, one in, April, May, June, July, August and December of 43 and of 44. In a normal game, not one like this, what that usually ends up meaning is that by 1945, the Germans usually will have, even if they've been taking losses and you've captured a few of their factories, they will always end up with roughly a minimum of 16 or 18 production points, which is just enough for them to move a few armies, maybe get an airplane back, force you to have to do a few things, rather than just sitting there, come totally out of position. At least it gives them a chance to try and fight it out at the end. It's made a difference in several of the games that I've played to the end. So I rather like that. It seems to balance out just perfectly if you've got your strategic bombing going and your offensives going. But in my case, that's not going to happen because I can't even take back England at this point. So we just do all the production, and I think this time he didn't actually give anything to anybody. Oh, you'll notice that he moved his factory count marker. We're not sure what the heck happened, but like factory count markers and stuff moved around. So anyway, we're in strategic warfare here. He is at +5, and I'm at +4 because I got 2 bombed markers in last turn. And if I remember right, he did not have anything to play, and I had an ultra, and I think I played it to make sure. I got the bombed markers out, and I went ahead and played the ultra right away because I wanted to make sure that I could get a factory back for the Russians. Maybe chip him one, but definitely wanted to get one back from the Russians. And he rolled a 7, but it's halved to 3.5 becomes a 4, and I rolled a 9. So he gets chipped to factory, and I got one back. And my ultra, of course, will come back in 6 turns now, so there is that. Now I think we're doing strategic movement for the Axis. I have no idea. Yeah, he brought another Italian. So the Italians are coming to, like they did in the initial conquest of Russia, they're coming back to defend some of the land they helped conquer. And I didn't have any more strategic moves for the Russians at this point. I said, I'm done. And so now we're into Axis operations. Let me take down the national marks. He comes over here, figures out where his planes can go, and flies up here. He's going to make sure that he can get his supplies through. It is severe in the mild zone, so there's no real reason for this, but he chooses to do it anyway. So I think he's going after... What is he going after? Oh, he's going after Bomber Command. So he takes out Bomber Command. I'm like, okay. He was halved down to a 3, but I was going to get a 1 no matter what. So he didn't want any more bombed markers in Germany. Now he's +1 to, I think he's going after home fleet. Yeah. So he's 3, halved to 1.5 becomes a 2. I'm a 6/7, so I'm halved to 3.5 becomes a 4. And he goes, ouch. Oh, he should, yeah. He goes, ouch, 2 for 1 against me. And he thinks about that. think he says enough of that. Let's first he moves this infantry up to here. These two infantry units attack in severe, so they're +3, -1 for the mountain, +2 to +1, and halved. He rolled a 2 + 4 was halved to a 3. I rolled a 6 + 1, halved to a 4, so nothing happened there. Oh, he had actually thrown in his heavy artillery, so he was actually +4. I forgot about that. And then he rolled 4 turns for his heavy artillery, so it's not coming back for a while. I don't know why he was so keen on trying to make that work, but... and the armor comes a-running. And he was trying to see how far I could get, so he knew which Spanish guy to move. And he does the same thing with this armored unit. He goes, okay, this Spanish guy would have to move. So he just kind of did them in opposite order, but he's trying to see how far his armor could get, so he knew how far which Spanish had to move in which direction. And what else did he do? And this Spaniard left. And he's moving Germans to the east. Finn comes up here to sit on the border. Swede goes and garrisons the port. This Swede, I think not sure what he did. He went up there. This Turk's going to go over here to start garrisoning the Russian border. This German comes actually to the west. And then this Italian brings the guy... no, he says, oh, wait, I got to move the Turk out. And then he goes and brings this infantry up there and sends the convoy over here, and then moves the convoy up into London, brings the fleet, moves it into Southampton? Yeah, Southampton, guard the German one. So he's got 3 convoys in England to supply his troops, so he's going to have no problems here. Yugoslavs, again, a bunch of miners on the Russian front. And now he's supplying, so he supplies that one. Can't remember what he used. Oh, he's using the Italian fleet for those 2 guys, because he didn't. Then he had to use something for the... he went for the airplane, and I tried to intercept him from here, I believe. Because I would be 0 and halves, so I needed to roll like a 5 or a 6. And I rolled a 1, so he got through. And then he kept everything in supply. So I moved the BEF around. Instead of it sitting here, I moved it to here. I think, or did I think better of that? I think I thought about it and said, wait a minute, I gotta see what I've got here. Brought an American airplane in. So I think I was I'm one because either I'm British, I think I have the American being the primary, so 1 for the American, +1 for a buddy. Since it's severe, we can't get any better than that, so it's +2 to +2, and we're both halved. I rolled a 5. +2 is a 7, so that's 3.5, becomes a 4, and he rolled a 1, +2 is a 3, which halves down to a 2, and so he is retreated, and he retreats into the city, and I go there. It's like, yay, there's my big British offensive. This guy goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to kind of clog things up a bit. And I'm not sure, but I think I'm done. Oh no, I had the Gibraltar guy. I think I was trying to supply the Gibraltar guy here from this convoy. And that's one of the things I wasn't paying attention to. I should have moved that convoy out and brought like an American fleet and stuff down here, but What do I know? So, and he chose not to intercept me. He said, go ahead, you can keep him in supply. I'm not worried about him right now. Italian fleets into the Atlantic, that's all he cared about. So, I don't know what I'm doing with the Soviets. Oh, I'm shifting a couple ground units around. We're in replacements for the Axis, so of course all his airplanes and his convoys. Italian convoys and fleet. Italian aircraft. Now we're into the west, so I get my American stuff. I'm not sure. And now we're doing the Russians. And through the upgrades, Soviets don't use any mobilization. Axis didn't have any. Did the West? I think I built something with the British. Yeah, I built Fighter Command back in England. So I've got a couple fighter units that he's got to kind of fight his way through. And I wasn't sure if I should have put this in Glasgow or if I should have put it in Belfast. The more I think about it, I probably should have put it in Belfast. Because that way, even if he takes these cities, it's just sitting in Belfast. He's got to keep pounding it to get rid of it. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 7 from either space to get down to these places. Okay, I know why I put it in Glasgow. It's 7 to get to London. So I wanted to be able to hit all 3. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. If I'm in Belfast, I can't hit London. I can hit these 2 ports, but I can't hit London. From Glasgow, I can hit all 3. So there is that. Yeah, that was why I did that. Okay. I knew there was a reason, but I couldn't think of what it was right off the top of my head. Soviets didn't have a mobilization. We're in diplomacy again. So here we go again. And the Germans pull another no event. And true to my form, the West says, put both of those back in the cup. And the Soviets go, ha-ha, we've taken away one of your pluses. So, for those of you that might have joined us late, this is what's left in the diplomacy cup. Let's show you real quick. I don't think we pulled it all out anytime recently. So there's 1, 2, 3 possible successes for him, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 not. So he has a 3 in 10 chance of getting something to be able to bring in like French North Africa or Vichy France. There's a 1 in 10 chance that I'll get a political failure and be able to just remove one of those things. And then there is a 6 in 10 chance that just absolutely nothing will happen. So that's what we're operating on. And next up, that was all the diplomacy. And then the Soviets. Oh, no, I guess we did pull it all out so we could see it. And we go to end of turn phase, turn this. I don't think we're getting a lot in January. He gets his surface action back. I get my free forces. I get the 8th Air Force, a convoy, American surprise attack marker, and the guards for the Russians. And then we will be doing weather here, blah, blah. Where's my weather table? Okay, and we have to, it's just straight up die rolls for weather. 3, 6, 1. So 3 stays poor, 6 stays severe, and he's got fair weather in the warm zone, but there's actually, he can go after Tangier there in fair weather. So, so that's what we end up with, and I think we're going to be, I don't think there's any more declarations of war for a while. We go right through that, and we're just doing our production here. It's pretty fast. Can't remember. And now notice he's down to 30 because I actually chipped a factory from him, so he's not at his 32. And now we're in strategic warfare. He is +5 to my +2. He rolls a 9. I rolled a 7, which we both got a factory back, so yay. And then we go strategic movement, and I think he brought an Italian to sit in Cherbourg. And we didn't have one for the other guys. We went to action subphase. He does his attack here. He is +2. Where are we at? We're in Spear. Yeah, so he's +3 and halved, and I'm +1 and halved. He rolled a 4 +3, halved to a 4. Of course, I rolled a 2. 1 + 1. So, there you go. Splits against me again. And why is that at 0? I don't know why that's at 0. Did we forget to do that last turn? I think we forgot to do that last turn. It was us correcting that. So anyway, he goes after me and blows me up. He rolled an 8. And oh, where's that now? I'm completely confused. Oh, he's attacking across the strait. That's what he's doing. Right, it costs 2 for the strait and 1 for the city, so that's 3, and 1 for the unit is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Should only have been 4 movement points. So I'm going to throw in my tank so that I'm a +1. And he's -3 for the attack, so he's, 2, 4. Did he not throw his airplane? No, he didn't throw his airplane. I think he was thinking he might need 2 attacks or something. Anyway, he rolled a 1 + 1. I rolled a 5 + 1, which is 6, which did a stop on him, so not going to take danger this turn. And then the German aircraft just says, I don't need to be here. I'm leaving. And so it leaves. The Italian convoy comes over here. It is severe weather. Did I? Why is it? Oh, he flew an airplane up, took a sortie to take one on the American aircraft, and then flew it back to France to stay in supply, and he throws in a new airplane. And when we've calculated it out, it's like this is just running up the airplanes. Or in this case, the fleet. And me being at +2 -3, I'd be -1 to try and interdict any fleets and stuff because of the severe weather. And it came back out, went there for 3. And he moves the German panzers up to the north to go there. The Swede goes over here. And this Finn came around here. We counted that twice to make sure it didn't look right to me. And then East Yugoslav, he thought about moving it and said, no, I'm going to get East Yugoslav out of here. And bring this Turk. Yeah, we noticed that that guy was still at low supply. He's like, no, he's in supply. He's on the mainland. So he brought this Turk over. Puts this Turk on the Soviet border. Not sure what he's doing here next. That Spaniard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Couldn't actually get there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He can't actually get there, but there's that Spaniard into Brest instead. And then he's done. He's going into supply subphase. I'm not sure if I tried to intercept him here at all. Yeah, and that guy, I said, that guy can intercept. Are you escorting? And so I think I went after him. I rolled a 2, halved to a 1, so I didn't get anywhere. He got a 4, so he halved to a 2, so each took 1. The convoy should have taken 1 for the supply run. And then was this guy. I said, go ahead. And then he had 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're into my action subphase. I didn't have a lot I could do. I went ahead and tried to take back that hex. +2 to +2 and halved. I rolled 3, so I couldn't get him. And then down here, I had to go into low supply there. And then over here, we had the Russians move their armored. Move that guy out of the Russia box onto the board just for kicks, because I had nothing else to do. And we're into replacements for the Axis, so they're replenishing all their airplanes. And then they'll be doing a bunch of stuff for the... And I'm doing the British. I bring down the Bomber Command and some other stuff. The Russian do the Americans. The Russians get all their airplanes to be at 0. And they flip over the guy in Archangel. And then in the production phase, the West went ahead and built the first Canadians here, and so I have an armored unit to hopefully take the place of the BEF soon. And my second build was to build the 8th Army into the Western Indian Ocean. Oops, I just blew by the diplomacy base. Okay. So the Germans went ahead and pulled a no event. I thought about putting the political success in, but I'm like, that would just give Germany an extra chance. So I just put the no event back in and said it done, and the Russians pulled out the no event. So it was net the same. And then we go to end of turn phase. So we're ending January, going into February. Oops, don't need that one. Need this one. The Germans got a ground support, their tanks marker, and both their submarines came back. I got my Ultra this turn. And then I got some Russian upgrades. Then we go into February. So turning off all of this stuff. And we're going to roll the dice. 2-1-1. I mean, could you ask for better weather? Poor, poor, fair. It's like, I can't win here. And then there comes a point here where we forgot I blew by the no supply phase for the British. And we'll do that right after here when I do the production. Yeah, did we? Yeah, I kind of blew by that. I got rid of the convoy here because it's not doing me any good. And I'm going to try to send in another convoy point, but he's going to be able to attack me in fair weather. So I don't think I actually get one there. I can't remember. Okay, and then we're to the same place we were to, +5 to +2. He can play, and so can I. I think it was kind of obvious. We're both going to play. He rolled a 6 + 5 becomes 11. His halved is 5.5 becomes a 6. I rolled a 6. So he didn't lose one, but I'm halved. So his 6 to my 3. I'm sorry, I forgot it was halved. So I lost one, he didn't, and it's his comes back in 6 turns. Mine comes back in 4. And then we go into strategic movement. I have no idea where he's going. He moved this Turk. Yeah, he moved the Turk up into the front line. I don't think I had one with the West. Yeah, everything's kind of like stuck at the front. And the Soviets go ahead and start moving airplanes up to the front line. So once they get them to 0, then they just start strategically moving them up. And we go into the Axis action subphase. Flies that airplane. He takes one sortie off the American airplane, flies that airplane back, flies this airplane up for one sortie, and then goes back at it. So I think he's going after home fleet. And he's just making ridiculously good die rolls. I didn't bother to intervene with the fighter. And then he went after Med Fleet, and then he went after the American fighter, and then he flies a different airplane in that has 0 into Birmingham to kind of finish things off here, I think. Takes out the fighter command, and then attacks down here. He's +2 for German, +2 for tanks. So that's +4, but -2 for the straight, -1 for this. So he's -3. So he's a net of +1, and I am -3 until I throw my tanks marker. So I'm -1. So he's +1 to my -1. He rolled a 4, and I rolled a 4. -1 is a 3, so I held for a turn. He moves the Italian aircraft up into England. What the hell is he doing? And then he just runs up my fleet so that it's at 6. So my fleets are all used up. My airplanes are all used up. Except for Bomber Command has one thing left on it. I think he may even take that out. Yeah. So there we go. So he's got everything run up to maximum. Just totally outdoing me here. And then he attacks. +2, +3, -2. I think he's +1 to +1. He says, no, that's not the way I want to do this. He moves this infantry back 1, 2, and then 3 over here. Calls an assault on the home guard. And moves the armored up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Plus the infantry. So then I think he had the infantry go in as 2, then +2 from the armor. Comes out the same. +4 -2, so he should be +2 to my +1. And for whatever reason, I didn't play the tanks marker. I don't know what I was thinking about. Oh, no, I did. Okay, so it came +2 to +2. I don't know if he threw an airplane or not. I don't think he did. So it was 2 plus 2 is a 4, and I rolled a 2 plus 2 is a 4, so that stopped that. And then he went after home guard. So he was +2 for German, -2 for weather and mountains. And I'm a -1. And did I throw my last tanks marker? Yes, I threw my last tanks marker. He rolled a 2, and I rolled a 4. So that stopped that, and then he moved his armor. Moving infantry. So slowly but surely here, moving, kind of migrating to the east. Figures what he has in England should be more than enough to take care of me. Moves that Italian into Copenhagen because he doesn't want to give me a limited supply source by make some kind of a weird invasion. Put that guy back in Tripoli. Put this Turk in Greece. This Yugoslav keeps on moving. He's got one sitting in Split, so the entire Yugoslav army is going into Russia, which I find amusing, but and I think he was done. He's doing a supply phase here. So it's just him counting up sorties for all the people. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to, and he had an Italian infantry and decided to let the Italian infantry go to low supply. He only wanted to spend even number so he can bring them all right back down. Excuse me. And so in the Western subphase, I move the American 4th Fleet and 1st Convoy to the Western Indian Ocean. Then we activate the 8th Army and we move into the Arabian Sea. And then I bring in this convoy to here. And I bring the fleet and the 8th Air Force all come into Gibraltar. This is where I made a mistake. If I'd have been counting, it would be 3 to the North Atlantic, 4 to here, drop the airplane off, 5 back out, 6, 7, 8 to the North Atlantic, 9 into 16, and I could have had the American fleet with just one sortie on it and one sortie on the convoy. In Tangier, they would have been able to escort, supply this, and they would have been at zeros. So they would have been able to keep the Gibraltar guy in supply for quite some time, which means he would keep attacking me at +1, and it would have, it would keep me going here. So that was another one of my many mistakes that I've made this game. Instead, I put him back there, which was dumb. And then he doesn't have airplanes in. This is me flying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 17, 18 into Bremen. So I got a bombed marker in there. One more teeny lick against him. Home guard. Seeing as how where I was sitting, I figured if he got fair weather, because it's going to be March next turn, if he gets fair weather and the home guard is sitting there, it's going to get blown up by the armor, and then the armor is going to be able to move behind me and then kill the American, and the Germans would move up, move behind the British, and get an isolated and kill him. And I was like, I really don't want to see that, so I went 1, 2, and sat in front of Belfast. Then I moved the BEF around to that spot, and then I moved the 1st Canadian into that spot. But the best I can come up with on short notice. And then I have it attack with the Americans because I had the Americans go there. What am I doing? I thought about it and said, nope, I'd rather have it this way. I was trying to figure out the best way to do this, and this is probably the best way. So the Americans are +1. They get +2 from the armored, so that's +3. And then we're in poor weather, I believe. So that's -1 for the weather. So I'm +3 to his +2. Or +2 to his +2. And Neither one of us committed. I did have, I think I had my free forces, but I thought this is not the place to play the free forces, you know? Probably going to need them in defense when that armored unit gets nasty in fair weather, so I wanted to have them in hand. And I rolled an 8. I was like, I did my part. I rolled a 6 plus 2 is an 8. He rolled a 2 plus 2 is a 4. So he got retreated. I decided that the 1st Canadian should move forward. And then I was done. I'd spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think. Should have like 7 left. Yeah. So I don't have a lot of points left to bring things back. But, so now we're trying to run past the surface action marker. He's at +1. Should only be +1. I'm at like minus ridiculous. +2 for British, -2 for convoy, -4. I should be -4, and then it's also 4 weather here, so he should. Or no, it's not. We're in fair weather down here. I think we redress this. Oh, he couldn't make up his mind what to do. It was very annoying. I'm like, pick something to do the interception and get it over with. Then he finally did, and he rolled a 5 with the fleet. So, and that put me at no supplies, so which means I will die this turn. So that's why I said that was a mistake. If I'd had the American fleet down there, we would have been able to get that supply through, and I would have held on to Tangier. But because I'm going to be eliminated in the no supply phase, he's just going to be able to walk across the strait and take it. So another huge mistake on my part. I seem to be making a lot of them this game. So we're in the no supply phase. I have to take that off. Figured I'd leave the convoy there because I can move it 10 movement points once it gets wackerdoodled. And yeah, I'm not real happy with my play here. So he's doing his replacements. And then I get into my replacements and I go 2. And then the Americans come down. And then up here, the Americans come down. And then I think I spent 2, 4. And then did I bring down the fighter? I had 3 left. What did I do? I have 3 left. Did I build? Maybe I built something? I thought I brought down the fighter. There he is. Okay. We got mobilization for the West. Didn't have anything left to mobilize. Oh yeah, I did put the convoy out there. Did I? Let's back up here. Okay, so I did this. I think I forgot to take down my 3rd convoy. He should be at 2 sorties now. I thought, well. And I think now we're doing basically mobilization for the what? I put 2 more airplanes out here for the Russians. 1 in the south and 1 up here in Veliluki. And I think we're getting to the diplomacy phase again. Not to turn track. So yes, we go to the diplomacy phase. The Germans pulled another no event. The West says put both of those no events back in the bucket, and the Russians pull a no event. So we're not getting anywhere with diplomacy, any of us. I'm sure that'll change right before sometime in the summer that the Germans will finally get their successes and get the rest of the world to join them in the war. So that went from there. We go to end of turn phase. Is that one? I'm going to need that one in a minute. Turn phase and tracks because we're going to get a few things. British get back their tanks. Americans get back their tanks. The Russians get a shock army to build. And the tanks go to the Germans, and then we get a variable entry. So a large stack of armies come in here. And the Germans finally rolled a series of high numbers. It's the first time they've rolled a series of high numbers in their reinforcements. So 4, 6, 4, 5. 4, 6, 4, 5. And then we move them down there. And then the Americans only had one die roll. Of course, they roll 6, so not coming in forever. I'll never see my airdrop. And then the Russians rolled not too badly, only one number, 2 numbers over the low numbers out of, 7. So upgrades pretty much is all that's here, I think, and a heavy artillery. So no units to build, just a lot of upgrades and heavy artillery, and they can't do anything till the end of 1943 anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much to them. And then he rolls the weather. 3 ones, kids. 3 ones. Three ones in March, because that's where we're at. Turn tracks at March. And that is, guess what? Fair, fair, fair. You couldn't ask for more. Talk about timing. I have no chance to build up my forces in England. He's going to have a fair turn. And he's just going to be able to do whatever he wants because he outnumbers me in air power. I don't have a chance to get back any air power, which is what I was going to try and do this turn. I was going to build another fighter, like in Belfast. Get all these airplanes at least at 4 sorties so that when fair weather came, he'd have to waste a bunch of sorties to take me out. But he's way ahead in the sortie race right now, and he's just going to be able to do whatever he wants this turn. So we ended it here. So it looks like I'm going to lose England a second time. I might be able to salvage somebody to sit in Belfast for a while, but it's just insane the way the timing of everything is just all going his way. And there's nothing I can do about it. That's the sad thing. Anyway, I'm Gen608. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Hit that like button so the algorithms in YouTube will keep this up for other people to find when they come looking for videos on unconditional surrender. And until we meet again, stay safe and bye-bye.